Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel Trading Secrets. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. For those of you who do not know, my name is Ali. I have over 20 years experience teaching accounting, economics, business and law. Through this channel I'll be providing some stock analysis and a quick update on the $1 Million Challenge. So if anybody is not aware of this is a journey of an investment of $1,000 to a return of $1 million over a period of 3 years using a strategic or compound return investing. So the objective is try to get 201 trades, each with an average return of 3.5%. It's not 201 consecutive trades, we do take into account losses. So for further details about how to join us for less than $9 a month, information is available in the description below. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you some FOIA legal precedents that could be useful for the MMTLP campaign. I'm also going to be looking at a new Congress campaign that we are looking for to start on Monday, and also we're going to be looking at some big news with regard to Apple expected this week. So let's go ahead and get started with the news with regard to Apple. So headline here from Yahoo Finance, the Apple event, everything we can expect from the company's September the 12th showcase. So this could be huge. The first thing to be aware of is the Apple iPhone will be switching to USB-C. So one of the reasons why this is happening is because of obviously European Union regulations, and in terms of one of the key reasons is obviously environmental factors, but this I believe this is something positive. It's certainly good for consumers and it makes things much easier. So the USB-C is now going to be standard across most of the tech industry, not only Samsung's, Google phones, but also iPad for Apple, including the iPad users as well. So we also have news with regards to the Apple Watch Series 9, Ultra Watch 2 and also AirPods. So we will be expecting positive news from this Apple presentation that is happening this week. So I'm going to start by giving a shout out to 100 MPH and the post earlier. I'm going to start by giving shout outs at 100 MPH with regard to the post shared earlier today, which states just focus on Congress and keep requesting the share count, energy better spent. You best make the difference this way, and also tagging in Ham the short killer. Next time the truck gets used in front of the SEC, can we make it a slide so it changes? Congress, SEC, MMTLP share count. So again, positive message there. And the next shout out here is to Crucial Mix, and again community message for MMTLP. Here's how you can make a difference on Monday. Let's get the senators to ask Gary Gensler a question about MMTLP live on TV. So this would be tremendous if it happens. So Gary Gensler versus Congress on Tuesday, and in terms of the key questions we're looking at, what is the MMTLP share count? Why is the SEC stonewalling Congress? Again, that's the feedback that we got in the previous week. So this is potentially a good opportunity to obviously get questions posed live on air. So in terms of a key date for your diary, Tuesday, September the 12th, 2023, 10 a.m. Eastern time. And obviously one thing to be aware of and to take note of, this is not an MMTLP focused question and answer session, but if one of the senators can bring up MMTLP, then certainly that is a possibility. So in terms of what you can do on Monday, and the community members, one thing that we can do certainly is email, tweet and call your congressional representatives. Also look at the entire Senate Banking Committee to ask them to hold Gary accountable for MMTLP. Let's now have a look at how we can use FOIA legal precedents in the MMTLP fiasco. So we're using AI technology and BARD. The information that was shared here is the precedent that could be used to force FINRA to release the trading blue sheets data is the Freedom of Information Act. This is a federal law that gives citizens the right to request information from the federal government. So obviously the SEC is part of that. We know that FINRA is a self-regulatory organization, but the key thing about FINRA, it is overseen by the SEC, and the SEC is subject to FOIA. So indirectly, FINRA is also subject to FOIA. We did see that in the previous email correspondence that we managed to get before the current denials that are taking place. So in those previous FOIA success, that previous FOIA success that we achieved, that was correspondence between FINRA and the SEC. So that is obviously precedent and proof that it can happen. So what do we do when FINRA denies the request, or let's say the denial also comes from the SEC. So you can appeal the decision. You can also file a lawsuit against FINRA in federal court. So I believe it is important that this is done in the federal court. So the power of a judge in a federal court is much more appropriate for this case and also necessary. But there is a case here I'm going to look at. 2015, Electronic Frontier Foundation used the FOIA to force the release of trading data from the NASD. So the NASD, we're going to look at that shortly, and this data showed that the NASD had been allowing members to trade ahead of customer orders. So again, surprise, surprise, but not surprise, surprise. So before we look at the 2015 case, using Investopedia, what we can see here in terms of the NASD, National Association of Securities Dealers definition. So this is obviously, I should say, a self-regulatory organization and was the predecessor of FINRA. So obviously before FINRA was around, we had the NASD, which is obviously no longer in existence. But let's get back to the AI and BARD. The question here is, can you summarize the Electronic Foundation use of FOIA to force the release of trading data from the NASD, obviously currently known as FINRA? So let's have a look at the case here. In 2015, the EFF filed a FOIA request with FINRA seeking trading data to high frequency related to high frequency trading. NASD, currently known as FINRA, denied the request, arguing that the data was confidential and its release would harm the financial market. So again, two common themes with MMTLP. First of all, claims of confidentiality, and second, or claims that it would harm the financial market. So it certainly seems like a recurring argument from FINRA. First of all, they are claiming confidentiality here, and second, they are also saying there is harm to the markets. So looks like a common theme for FINRA whenever there is a request they want to deny. However, in this particular case, the EFF appealed this FOIA denial to the SEC, but at that time, I'm presuming Gary Gensler wasn't in charge, because what happened was the SEC ruled in favor of the EFF. So looks like there was a little bit of credibility with regard to the SEC then. So very pleased with that decision. The NASD then appealed the SEC decision to the federal court because obviously NASD, previously currently known as FINRA, were not happy, so they appealed to the federal court. However, the court upheld the SEC's decision. So again, a positive outcome there. The EFF's victory in this case set a precedent for the use of FOIA to release force the release of trading data. So this is very, very important. The case also helped to shed light on the practices of high frequency traders and has been criticized for contributing to market volatility and unfair trading practices. So what can we learn from this in terms of MMTLP? So first of all, the key takeaways for MMTLP are: the FOIA can be used to force the release of confidential trading data, but so far the vast majority or almost all of the current ones are being refused. So what do we do if they are being refused? So at the moment we are in a situation where the SEC is siding with FINRA. They are both acting together as a tag team, and the requester, in terms of all the FOIA requests, the key theme and the key thing that we need to look at is we need to focus on showing that the data is not confidential, because that's their reason for denial. And the other thing is we need to show that the release would not harm the markets. That's another reason for their refusal, because this was also a reason for the U3 halt. So the release of trading data can help shed light on practices of high frequency traders and to protect investors from unfair trading practices. So I think that's the key area of focus. So overall, conclusion here is when there is a denial of a FOIA, obviously after your appeal, there is legal action in a federal court, and as far as I'm aware, this has not yet taken place. But for any of the attorneys out there that are looking to use this going forward, if anybody has had a FOIA request denied, then certainly you have an avenue here in the federal court. Finally, we want to finish off by giving a quick review of last week's weekly watch list. This was shared exclusively with the Discord members prior to trading on the Tuesday. And some of the calls that we called out included AXLA. In fact, this was the best call of the week. That was up close to 160% on the week from the Tuesday, and also on Friday closed up close to 70%. So congratulations to everybody who got in AXLA. This was also in fact covered in the previous video. We also looked at NVOS. That was up 37% on Tuesday. Great opportunity there to take profit, and also was up 12% on the week. So again, a good call there. ESTC, another good call, that was up 6.1% on the week. UGRO, that was up 8.8% on the week. TLRY was another call that we had, that was up over 10% on the Tuesday, and also up 1% on the week after a little bit of a sell-off. Key EQU, that was up 1.5% on the week. Dell, we also called out as one to watch this week, and again up 3.7% on the week. TTOO, again quite a volatile stock, one with high risk, high reward, up over 21% on Thursday, giving a good opportunity to buy into that dip. And prior to the Thursday, it was trending down, and overall down 18% on the week. ZS we also called out, that was up 6.3% on the Tuesday, and also up 1% on the week. GTLB, that was up 6.5% on the week, and TAOP, that was down 90% on the week, but showed signs of reversal on Friday and closing up 7% in the aftermarket. So not all calls are successful, but if you would like to get the next weekly watch list, details are in the description below. Thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned.